What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and I'm back again today to give you the change-up that I told you guys were coming yesterday. And that change-up is my 5 guys that does not fit our schemes. Now, again, the crazy thing about this is that I only have one offensive guy on this list. I stayed away from wide receivers because we don't need them. I kind of stayed away from running backs because there weren't, like, the running back crop that's in here, other than Bijan Robinson, that would fit our scheme. A lot of them kind of fit things that we do, but it wasn't that they weren't really good fits. The other thing is that offensive linemen and everything, a lot of these guys are pretty flex guys, but there are some guys that fit our scheme a little bit better than others, and then there's some guys that it's not that they don't fit our scheme, it's just that it'll take them some time to eventually fit our scheme. Or some of them might be a little slow, but still. And the other thing is that I didn't really have a lot of linebackers, and like I said, I avoided places where we don't really need help. So prime example is I didn't look at safeties, I didn't look at defensive tackles, running backs, kind of like factor them out, wide receivers, even quarterbacks. I really didn't see a quarterback that I felt was worthy of this list. So again, with that being said, here are my 5 guys that does not fit our schemes. And trust me, a lot of people are going to be upset with this list because I understand that sometimes people can look at a person's potential but not really understand the scheme fit for what a team does. So with that being said, my number 1 guy who does, I'll start at number 5. So number 5 is Caillou Blue Kelly, the cornerback out of Stanford. He's a very aggressive corner. He does take chances a lot. Like, there's so many times where he's caught where he can be beat deep because he's too busy trying to anticipate routes or anticipate quarterback throws and stuff like that. He's very susceptible to double moves, but he's also susceptible to pump fakes. So one thing about him is that because he doesn't have that level of patience that Ron and them like in their cornerbacks, it will be hard for him to actually work in our system. He's also not the tallest guy. He is fast, but he's not the tallest guy. And because of that, like, you know, the fact that he so many times he gets caught on, like I said, he gets caught on double moves. He gets caught with pump fakes and things of that such nature. So for that, Caillou Blue Kelly, the cornerback out of Stanford, and then of course his stature, he's not the tallest guy. So for that, I don't see him being able to fit our system. Again, he doesn't have much when it comes to arm length. That's not there. And like I said, I like him, but he just doesn't fit our scheme. Number 4 is Lucas Van Ness. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are probably like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, Lucas Van Ness doesn't fit our scheme. He reminds me a lot of Ryan Kerrigan, and you saw how Ryan Kerrigan didn't really fit our scheme. He's not really fast off the edge. He can get caught standing upright a lot. There's been plenty of times where you'll see him in games and he's just standing straight up, and then the right tackle or the left or the tackles get into him, and then next thing you know, he doesn't do a good job of shedding blocks. So and he doesn't seal the edge as well as you would want him to. So for that, you know, when it comes to Lucas Van Ness, like I said, he just for all those things that especially for what we require our ends to do, sealing the edge, being able to be a factor in the run game, being able to basically focus on what the gap is, and at the same time be able to be fast enough to get to the quarterback. That's another thing. He's not as fast as you would want him to be for an end. So for that, Lucas Van Ness, he doesn't fit our zone scheme. I mean, our gap control scheme. At number 3 is Marshawn Ford, the tight end from Louisville. He's a very slender guy. He doesn't block at all. He does have very good hands. He can catch. He does a good job with getting deep at times. But he also has a lot of drops. Like he'll sit up there and drop balls. Not only that, there's a lot of times when you see that you're not certain if when you look at his film, it doesn't look like he has a lot of responsibility when it comes to route recognition or sitting in zones and getting open. It might be a limited offense for him, so they might not give him a lot of responsibility in regards to what he's supposed to be doing when he's out on the field. But he doesn't block. He does, like I said, he is a solid receiver, but there are times where he does have drops that things be right in his hand and he'll drop them. But again, like I said, he just doesn't fit what this new Kansas City offense or whatever Eric Bieniemy is going to bring in. I just don't see him fitting that scheme. So for that, Marshawn Ford, tight end out of Louisville, he doesn't fit our offensive scheme. Number 2, and this one is going to hurt a lot of people. I know this one is going to hurt a lot of people because I've heard some people say that they like this guy. Number 2 is Nolan Smith, the edge out of Georgia. It's not the fact that he necessarily doesn't fit the scheme. It's the fact that we have a player already that's like him. And from all angles, it looked like he doesn't fit our scheme. So an example of that is Nolan Smith is the same body size, the same height and everything as Shaka Toney. And for everybody who knows who Shaka Toney is, he's not on the field as often. Nolan Smith, he does a good job sometimes bending the corner, but there are a lot of times that I'm not going to say he doesn't give maximum effort, but there are times where he gets blown out of plays, and that it's actually shocking, especially for a guy who's going to be an edge guy. He can play linebacker, but I don't think that he would be a linebacker that we would necessarily want because he wouldn't be able to play the Mike position, which is something that we urgently need. And of course, with us having Jamin Davis and Khalil Hudson basically as, the, I guess, weak side linebackers or outside linebacker, I don't see him being able to fit us. Like I said, we got a guy identical to him in Shaka Toney. And Shaka Toney is like barely a situational guy. And I think that if we were to draft him, he would basically be the same thing as Shaka Toney. And because of that, and not only that, because of his size and everything, I just don't see us using him. So for that, Nolan Smith does not fit our scheme. Last but not least is a guy that is actually high on a lot of people's list when it comes to edge player in this year's draft, and that guy is Will Anderson. Will Anderson, he has no counter moves. There are times where he stands up. He's another one that stands upright and ends up being blown up by offensive linemen. He gets mauled more by offensive linemen than what I'm comfortable with. He can be effective in the run game, but he's not as effective as you want him to be in the run game. He relies on his speed a lot. So he definitely relies on getting around the corner a whole lot and utilizing his speed to get to the quarterback. But if he faces like a agile tackle or a tackle that's bigger than him, he's going to be nullified out the game. And not only that, there's a lot of plays where you don't see him really put his hand in the ground. So I don't think that he'll be able to stand up to the rigors of what we deal with, especially when you're talking about the NFC East, where we have a lot of huge left tackles in our division. I'm not certain if Will Smith could stand up to that grouping of guys. And like I said again, his size, the fact that he stands upright, the fact that he gets mauled by offensive linemen, the fact that he's not as effective as you want him in the run game and sealing the edge. For that, Will Anderson does not fit our scheme. So y'all tell me what y'all think, because I really do want to hear what y'all got to say about this, because these are 5 guys that actually really don't fit our system. I want to know if some of you guys have a different opinion of this. I mean, if you agree, then that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. But I do want to hear what some of you say about this particular list. But again, these are my 5 guys that do not fit our scheme. Tomorrow I will be back and I will have another list. This time 5 guys that won't be successful if they don't go that won't be successful if they don't go to the correct situation. Y'all tell me what y'all think. This has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.